out here walking with my family and our dogs. It's about 1 o'clock, and I'm sure most of my neighbors that I'm walking past right now are sleeping, but we're out here walking, and it's getting me thinking. July 1st, how am I going to crush the rest of this year? How am I going to crush my goals and my objectives? And how can I move towards the person that I want to be by the end of this year? Right? So the first half of this year has flown by. I don't know if you guys have noticed the same thing, but it seems like every year that goes by seems to go by a little bit faster and faster. It's because we have a lot of memory already. We had so many days that we lived in our lifetime that each new day becomes a smaller and smaller fraction of your total lifespan. So it appears as if each day is truly going by faster and faster. So number one, I think you have to appreciate every day, right? For the rest of the year, you got to find something to be grateful for. It could be waking up, it could be having breakfast or lunch or dinner with your family, eating. It doesn't have to be something grandiose. It has to be something to be grateful for. So gratitude, okay, being thankful for what you have. I think that's critical to crush your goals for this year. You have to take account for how far you've come already, right? Be grateful for it. And number two is clarity, right? You got to be clear about what you want in life. And clarity is power, because once you have clarity, you know exactly what you want. You have a burning desire for that. And with clarity comes decisive action. So the more clear you are about what you want, the more decisive your action can take, the more force you can move towards your goals. And, regardless of what struggles you may be going through, if you get clear on even just one thing and create that as your North Star, you can make an impact. You can make a change in your life that will ultimately benefit you and your family, your friends, your business, your city, your nation, right? Depending on how big you want to take it. But it's July 1st. What kind of goals do we have, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I'm here walking with my family. We're here in Long Beach, California. It's 1:01 a.m. and we're a little restless, right? We're typically up late, but for me, I'm up pondering. I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking of how can I make not just the second half of this year better than the first half, but how can I make the rest of my life the best of my life, right? That one's from Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. And that one resonates a lot with me, right? It resonates a lot with me because we all have innate power inside of us. We were born with it. I see it in my 1-year-old daughter, and I see it in my 6-year-old daughter, and in my wife. And we all have incredible and unlimited potential. Now, how can we unleash that? Number three, I think we need accountability. Okay. Now, accountability from at least one other person, right? That could be your spouse. For me, I've had my daughter Mela be my accountability partner too. We went door knocking a couple days over my paternity leave, and she held me accountable. The second day, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go and just meet my neighbors, which is crazy. It's a pretty big part of my business, and you know, um, she held me accountable to a higher standard. It started getting dark outside, for example, and she kept saying, one more door. Let's go do another one. Let's go do another one, because to her, it was fun. To me, it might have been nerve-wracking, fear of rejection, but understand this. If you have a fear of rejection, it's because you're rejecting yourself, right? Think about that. If you have a fear of rejection from other people, and if you live like that for more than a day, you are rejecting yourself. So we cannot allow ourselves to be controlled by our fear of failure, our fear of rejection, or even our fear of success. Because even with success, it changes. Sometimes everything that's going on in your life, like, you have to readjust to larger amounts of success. It often throws more weight on your shoulders, but you were meant for greatness. You were meant for something better than just an average mundane lifestyle where you live and you work your whole life. You have to get a second or third job. Like, we're all meant for something better than that, but we're taught to go to school, to get a job, to get good grades, and to live the lifestyle of working for 40 years and living off of 40% of what you earned in your lifetime, retiring off of what? Social Security? I don't know if that's going to be there for us. Not my age. So, guys, with that being said, what are your goals for the end of 2025? For me, number one of my biggest goals is to be able to work 100% remotely from home. Now, I'm a projects manager currently. It's my full-time job, and a big chunk of that work is done over the laptop, over the phone. So my goal is to be able to get good enough at that job to be able to do it from home, right? And another goal I have is to collaborate with more entrepreneurs, business professionals, and serve more people in my direct neighborhood. All my neighbors, my friends, my family, my goal is to be able to serve them in some way, shape, or form, whether you're focused on wealth creation, paying down debt, increasing your credit score, improving your home, improving your health, right? There's a number of ways that we can collaborate and work together to be able to improve our lives, right? We can all improve our health. We can all improve our finances. We can improve our home life in a number of different ways. So, guys, those are a couple of my goals, and maybe one of the larger goals is to be able to move out into a larger place, right? A 2-bedroom, maybe even a 3-bedroom, as we're preparing to continue to multiply. All right, guys. Well, that's just a short little rant, a little manifestation out into the universe. Thanks for tuning in from me and my family and my dogs. Say hi, Mela. All right. See you guys next time.